The palace provides proof, who the doctors were, all signed off, everything signed off. And if they can't do that, because we have a right to know that who is closely in the line of succession is entitled to it. And if they can't do that, I'm afraid those children should be removed from the line of succession forthwith.
It's the first time in the history of the monarchy that this has happened. And therefore, we've all been asking, the doctor's name should be made public. You know that they put that outside with the easel, right? And then Harry, if we go by his narrative and spare, he says that Meghan Markle went to the hospital, the Portland hospital, and then she humped a ball, that she was put in the bathtub. She was given not one, but 2 epidurals. I am a mom. I have had my child by using an epidural. Doctors will never put you in a bathtub if you have an epidural.
You may think Archie's birth is normal and that Meghan Markle actually gave birth to him, but there are some questions that have left even one of the best royal biographers speechless. So, was it really Meghan Markle who gave birth to her children? And from the evidence brought forward, Meghan would have some explaining to do.
Every royal birth, except for that has been close to the line of succession, with the exception of Archie's and Lilibet's, has been signed off by a host of royal doctors. The only 2 that this has been omitted for, or with, whichever way you want to look at it, have been Archie and Lilibet.
I think that she's much more than that. There's a selfishness there. That was worse than narcissism. That was destructive. She's an agent of destruction. What she said against Britain, everything was just so unfair and wrong. And it was really a dreadful thing what she did and continues to do.
According to the reports, when Meghan was about to deliver, she went to the Portland hospital for the birth of Prince Archie of Sussex. And as she labored, she was using a birthing ball and a bathtub, waiting anxiously but patiently for the time her water would break and the baby would come out. But surprisingly, something strange happened. Within 2 hours of getting to Portland Hospital, they had returned to Frogmore Cottage, their residence connected to Buckingham Palace at that time.
And then Harry in his book says that within 2 hours of the child being born, they were back at Frogmore Cottage. Those are his words. Those are not my words. Those are his.
To commentators, this sounded medically unlikely because no matter how easy a natural childbirth is, 2 hours is too short to clean the baby up and even the mother and make them set out for home. And where did the strength come from for Meghan to stand up immediately after delivery and be on her way home? This story was told by Prince Harry in his book Spare, but it doesn't add up.
If that is the case, that means that this woman with not 1 but 2 epidural, with a very difficult birth, geriatric, was literally cleaned up. The baby was smacked, wrapped, put in a van, and sent back because it takes almost an hour from Portland Hospital to go to Frogmore Cottage. So that means that they were within an hour. They were back at Frogmore Cottage.
According to royal birth tradition, when a baby is born into royalty, the doctors who delivered the baby are honored. And during the palace easel announcement of a newborn, the doctors' names actually appear. There would also be an independent witness who verifies the royal birth, and no royal birth is an exception. This happened during the birth of Prince George of Wales and even during Princess Charlotte of Wales, whose births publicly listed the attending physicians.
Every royal birth, except for that has been close to the line of succession, with the exception of Archie's and Lilibet's, has been signed off by a host of royal doctors.
But when Archie was born, the script seemed to turn around. He was born on the 6th of May, 2019, and when the announcement of his birth was made, they included the time of his birth and even his weight. The hospital name was mentioned, but the doctor who delivered him didn't appear. And to make it worse, there was reportedly no independent witness to confirm whether the birth really took place or if it was fabricated. So this omission wasn't easily forgiven because it broke royal precedent.
Now, royal births are supposed to be, the details have to be made public because they have to reassure the United Kingdom that they meet the legal requirements to be in the line of succession, right? So, and we know that the only living witness to Archie's birth is Prince Harry. Who else? We don't know anybody else.
There are claims that when the doctor's name was removed, it eliminated independent verification, and that the public information relied only on statements coming from Harry and Meghan. This is where the framework of privacy and security introduced by Harry and Meghan comes into play. Harry and Meghan, immediately after having their first child, ignored many of the royal security procedures they had been taught over the years. The procedures require that when labor begins, a notification is sent to the monarch immediately, and there should be a security lockdown of the birth location because, to the monarchy, all royal blood is expected to be protected at all costs. But for Harry, he allegedly suggested that these royal protocols were not followed and that they bypassed them, with reports claiming the monarch got to know about the birth from the news.
If a royal lady who's about to give birth, there's 2 phone calls that the security team makes. One to the palace to inform Her Majesty that, she's gone into labor. And 2, that to the security, the head of security to secure the premises where they go. Harry claims that they didn't do any of that. That means that the Royal Police Protection Officers violated security protocol.
Even the Portland hospital where all this supposedly happened reportedly declined to release information citing patient privacy. As a result, there was no independent medical confirmation publicly shared. There are ongoing arguments that before any child of the royal family enters the line of succession, the birth must be verified. But when it came to Archie's birth, only Harry was publicly confirmed as a witness. There was no independent witness or anyone else officially there to confirm the birth. Only Harry, and the kind of witness he gave wasn't independently verifiable.
Let me rephrase that. I want to be careful how I put this. Provide the proof to the world that those children were born in such a way that no questions can be asked, which means they have to provide absolute proof that Meghan bore those children and was delivered of those children herself.
But the controversy didn't stop with Archie. It continued toward his sister, Princess Lilibet Diana. She was born in 2021, and this time the hospital was different. It seemed Harry had changed hospitals, possibly to prevent certain details from becoming public. She was born at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. Her birth certificate, which is meant to confirm her birth, appeared different from typical examples, and many members of the public found it difficult to acknowledge that they had ever seen an official copy. Questions began rising nonstop. If the certificate presented was fake, then what certifies that she was officially born in the hospital? As it stands, many say there is no publicly confirmed independent verification.
Me and other YouTubers, we have tried to get a copy of the birth certificate for Lily. And I mean, they're expensive. I tried to get 7 times. I tried to get it. I sent you the email of what they responded to me. And it's like they can't find the record, and they offer me to go to Santa Barbara, which is where the child is supposed to have been born, and maybe I can get it there, right?
The obstetrician reportedly connected to Lilibet's birth, Dr. Melissa, was later identified, but something unexpected happened. After the birth, she closed her medical practice on very short notice, which is very strange, because assisting with a royal associated birth would normally be a moment of honor and celebration, yet Melissa quit.
And the doctor that delivered Lily, according to what is out there, Lily was born on June 4th, 2021. This doctor with a thriving practice suddenly quit on June 20th. She sent I think it was June 20th or 21st. She sent an email or a notice to all her patients that she was quitting out of the blue. The interesting part is that her husband has a very, very popular fertility clinic.
Now let's go back to Archie, because for Lilibet, they had already left the royal family, but during Archie's birth, They were still working royals, though planning to leave. The original registration of Archie's birth certificate listed Meghan's personal name, which wasn't unusual at first. But surprisingly, an amendment was later made, removing her personal name and replacing it with royal titles instead. Though legally allowed under the Births and Deaths Registration Act of 1953, the change from a personal name to a royal title was symbolic and quite unusual. Some believe Meghan was trying to ensure the child received recognition through royal styling if the palace itself hesitated to acknowledge it fully.
Though the Hollywood alum wasn't a fan of her hubby's royal rules, she recently gave a nod to the British family when she changed her name on her son's birth certificate. Meghan Markle made an update to son Archie's birth certificate, taking her first and middle names Rachel Meghan off the document. In the latest copy of the certificate obtained by the UK's The Sun, the former Deal or No Deal model replaced her moniker with Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex.
This inconsistency has lingered over the years, and Sussex Communications, alongside palace explanations, allegedly offered only limited clarification. When people listened to these explanations, many found them ambiguous and difficult to understand. As time passed, the public continued searching for clarity regarding these inconsistencies.
Asking those questions, and it is really shameful to me that given I was asking those questions in The Sun, that was published in The Sun, the UK's biggest tabloid newspaper at the time, why did the rest of the mainstream media not pick up on that, given they were all lied to as well, with very, very odd reasons?
The questions still remain. Why did Meghan isolate herself during pregnancy? Why did she speak about mental health struggles? And why was there alleged concern about Archie's skin color, as she claimed during her interview with Oprah Winfrey? That interview said a lot about Archie, but many believe the public was too distracted to fully examine it. When the announcement of Archie's birth was made, the palace statement contained only basic facts: that Meghan delivered safely, the baby's weight, and confirmation that Harry was present during the birth. There was no detailed verification of the birth. It felt like the announcement of a normal baby birth, unlike previous royal births involving Prince William and Prince Harry himself, where a consistent public pattern had always been followed.
It was actually mandatory, it was law, that until 1948, before Prince Charles was born, King George VI said, let's give away with that, because, it felt undignified to have, in modern times. So they did away with that because it was law, I believe. But it was in exchange that they were going to make all the details public. I mean, even the Queen was not exempt from this. They put the details of the doctors and, everything on the easel.
Looking back at previous royal births, royal babies were traditionally presented on hospital steps shortly after birth. But when it came to Archie, he was introduced 2 days later inside St. George's Hall at Windsor Castle. The presentation was described as a controlled photo opportunity, coming only after plans and arrangements had been fully confirmed. So now it's up to you. What do you have to say regarding the birth of Archie? Is he of royalty? Or do Harry and Meghan still have things they aren't telling us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.